What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. So as you know, the season 4 update is right around the corner. Now there are a bunch of DLC weapons that are going to be coming in. Some of them already have been revealed, others were leaked and found in the files. Today we're going to go over all of them, the potential different weapons that are going to release with this update, as well as future updates in Call of Duty, and everything we know about it so far. So if you do find the video informative or helpful at any point, don't forget to hit that like and sub button. But let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing is we have this list of weapons that was previously leaked by Hey, I'm Alex. These are all upcoming weapon strings that were found in the files. A lot of these, they're obviously, code named, so you don't know exactly what they are, but you can figure out what weapon it's meant for. So taking, for example, T10 AR P49, that you already know AR, that's going to be an assault rifle, and then the code name is Fresno. So that means we're going to get an AR that starts with the letter F. Now, around a couple weeks ago on May 1st, a user named Shiggy ended up guessing all of the... It seems like he knows exactly what he's talking about because he's guessed some of the weapons that have already been confirmed before they were confirmed. So, for example, Fresno, he said it's going to be the FAMAS/FFAR. Now, we did talk about this yesterday. Call of Duty released a cinematic outro just a couple of days ago, and they showcased that the FFAR is going to be one of the brand new weapons that we're going to get in Season 4. You see it on the desk right next to Adler. I know we've talked about this yesterday where we already have a sort of take on this weapon, which is the FR Advancer, which released in Season 5 of Modern Warfare 2, which means that it's currently available for you to use right now in the game. Now, obviously, it's probably going to have a completely different name. We know that like back in like Cold War, they would call it the FFAR. They called it the FR Advancer in this case. So they could technically be completely different weapons. They're going to have different stats, and it seems like this is going to be the first DLC weapon that we're going to have returning here in Black Ops 6, or at least with Season 4. Now, it seems like a lot of these weapons are also going to be coming in from Cold War as well. Now, going on to the second weapon, this is going to be the T10 SM. So this is an SMG with the code name Lisbon. So starts with an L. Shiggy, once again, guessed this one correctly. He said either the Lapa or the LC10 from Cold War, and we got official confirmations once again with the cinematic that the LC10 is going to be the DLC weapon that we get. Now, this next one, the code is T10KS, so that is for kill streak, and then it's M202, so that is going to be the Grim Reaper Scorestreak from Black Ops 1, officially returning to the game. So not technically a DLC weapon, but it was listed in the files as a new weapon coming in, and that means that it's probably going to be available within this update as well as a form of a kill streak. We typically do get kill streaks every single season. They introduce something new. For example, we ended up getting the Death Machine. Now it seems like they're adding this one here. This could also potentially carry over into the zombie side of things, maybe like during Reloaded or something along those lines. And back then, the only way you could get this weapon is through a care package in Black Ops 1. So you would need 550 score, call in a care package, and if you're lucky enough, you would get it. It's not as overpowered as, say, like the War Machine or anything else like that, but it did fire around 4 bullets in fast length. It seemed like a regular launcher, except it was more of a one-shot capability than some of the other launchers were. So not the most insane score streak, definitely something that could be fun to use, but I don't think it's gonna like alter the game mechanics or be so overpowered that it's meta or anything like that. So that's what seems to be the new score streak that we have for multiplayer. Now, going on to the next thing that we do have a brand new revolver. Now, surprisingly, this one was not mentioned in the strings that Hey, I'm Alex leaked out. So I'm not entirely sure if it's supposed to release in Season 4. According to Reality UK, a different leaker who leaked this, he said it was meant to release in Season 4, and he found it in the Warzone mobile files, and it's meant for Black Ops 6. So this footage you can see here, it literally says created for Black Ops 6, so it is a BO6 future weapon. The Pyork name is something completely all original and brand new, so we don't know exactly what type of revolver it is. And then from the silhouette and all that, you don't see full-on details on exactly what it looks like. So we are going to get a revolver type of weapon, which we haven't seen in quite a while in Call of Duty, added as a DLC weapon. So I'm curious to see if this is truly going to be in the Season 4 update, or if it's something that could be added later on down the line, maybe Season 5 or Season 6. But that is one of the weapons that was also leaked out. Now, the next one that we have following the list here, once again, we have one called T10 DM P50 Erie. DM is for designated marksman rifle, and then the Erie name obviously starts with the letter E, meaning we're going to see a marksman rifle that begins with the letter E. And according to Shiggy, he said it could potentially be a bolt action World War II Enfield, maybe. It didn't seem like he was too sure of this one. In terms of marksman rifles starting with the letter E, I don't recall any from games like Cold War, which it seems like what they're pulling these weapons from. So it could be an all original, something we've never seen before. But if you do know a lot about weapons and you have an idea on what it could be, comment down below and let us know. But going on to the next thing that we have, and this is another assault rifle. So it has the name T10 AR, and this is Aspen. So with this one starting with the letter A, there's a couple of weapons you can think of, obviously like AKs, but we already have that in Black Ops 6. Shiggy said that it could potentially be the AUG. That's something that we did see in Cold War. Once again, fits that theme that I talked about where they're like pulling weapons from Cold War. And then also we did have a variation of it in Modern Warfare 3 for the MX9, but that was an SMG version. So this is going to be the actual assault rifle. And then when you think of past Black Ops titles, the only ARs that I could think of that started with the letter A were the AK. So like the AK-47, AK-47U and all that. And then there's also the AUG. But other than these two, I can't really think of much that released during Black Ops because obviously they're not going to release Modern Warfare weapons like the ACR or anything like that. So I personally believe the AUG is the best candidate that we have in terms of one of the weapons. Now going on to the next one that we have is the T10 SH for shotgun, and then OLOV, so it stands for the Olympia shotgun. This one's pretty obvious. It's all but confirmed that it is the Olympia here, and I know there's like the Lockwood variant that people have commented on, but remember, just like we saw, there's a lot of similarities with like the FR Advancer and the FFAR, and then now with the Lockwood to the Olympia, I still believe the Olympia is going to be an upcoming DLC weapon that we have, and it was also sort of teased in Shattered Veil, so you can see it on the wall hung up, and it seems like this is the Olympia being showcased here. And the Olympia hasn't been seen in Call of Duty since Black Ops 3, which was 10 years ago. The game released in 2015. It's been 10 years since we actually got the Olympia in game. It was first introduced in Black Ops 1, and I believe this is something that many people want to see back in the game. I've seen a lot of comments in regards to this weapon. Some people were not that happy with it. They preferred seeing the M14, considering we're talking about classics here. But that brings me on to the next weapon that we have, and this one is T10 AR. So it's going to be an assault rifle, and it has the code name Milan, and that is expected, or we're thinking it's going to be the M14 for the reason that if they're going to bring a classic like the Olympia, then they could definitely bring in the M14. We've seen this one in both Call of Duty's Modern Warfare and Black Ops. It's been very popular throughout every single time it's been added into the game. I just personally can't think that they would bring in the Olympia and then leave the M14 behind. Even when people were talking about the Olympia being in zombies, they would always mention the M14 alongside it. So I think they just come in as a pair with each other. But other than that, the next one that we have going on to the list, it says right here, T10 LM Mesa. So it looks like we're getting a new LMG that starts with the letter M. According to Shiggy, he believes that it's going to be the M60. I definitely believe we need to see an LMG added into the game. We haven't gotten one since the launch of Black Ops 6. So right now, there's only a total of 4 different LMGs that you can use. Meaning we're definitely overdue for a brand new LMG, and I personally believe it would make sense for them to add it here within the Season 4 update. But what are your thoughts? Which LMG would you think they would add if it's not the M60? But going on to the next weapons that we have, these are some very obvious ones. So the first one is T10ME for melee, and then it is Pickaxe. I remember Modern Warfare 2 has a Pickaxe already, but it's probably going to be a different variation. It might be like an older style, so something with like the wooden handle, and it's just like a regular old actual pickaxe, so not the one that looks like this, which is like a more modernized looking version, which I personally believe is just going to be the style completely changed, and that's how they can still add it, considering we already have something that's called the Pickaxe in Warzone. And then the second one is the Brass Knuckles. We've seen Brass Knuckles added in Call of Duty a couple of times. I remember the Galvin Knuckles from Black Ops 2 Zombies. I also remember in BO3 it was a DLC weapon that you were able to use. I don't think they're going to look as futuristic as they do with the BO3 version. They're probably going to simple it down and make it look like some regular Brass Knuckles, but that's expected to be another melee weapon that we have. Anyways, these are all the DLC weapons that have been found in the files so far. What are your thoughts and opinions? Which ones out of all of these would you like to see in the Season 4 update? I personally don't think all of these are going to be available, and when they are, there's going to be a couple ways you can unlock them. So the first portion is going to be available through the Battle Pass. You simply just need to get to that tier, unlock it. It's usually the high value target reward. So once you complete that page, you will end up unlocking that as the DLC weapon. And then there's also others that come in through events. So for example, they're going to have like a XP based event or a challenge based event, and it'll be one of the rewards that you'll be able to unlock. So that's typically how they've released weapons in Black Ops 6 so far. But that is all that I have for you guys in this video. Let me know, are you guys excited for Season 4? We're going to get the official content roadmap as well as confirmations from Call of Duty themselves this next upcoming week. So we're going to go over all of that. Be sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any of that news or information. But it has been your boy Chidzo. Thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys back on the channel again.